Hey guys, wanted to make another little cautionary video so you guys can learn from my mistakes. Showing off a HKG3 clone here next to its granddaddy, the MP44. And this is kind of what I was going for in my collection. I mean, they fit together, they look cool. Both of them. I've always wanted a G3 when I grew up in Deutschland, and I guess almost surfed with one. Thank God I didn't, because the Bundeswehr, in my honest opinion, is an absolute joke. And yeah, not really an army that can be taken seriously, or should be taken seriously, but I digress. Still a really nice looking rifle from the side, a rifle that I still really want in my collection, but I don't want this one. Basically, the moral of this video is gonna be spend the goddamn money, okay? Buy a real factory produced G3 or G3 clone or an HK91. Is it gonna be expensive? Potentially, if you get the HK91, but it will be perfect. It will be perfect. Everything will be straight. The receiver will be properly heat treated. The receiver will not be bent. It will be made out of the correct material. They used a special steel for that in Germany back in the day. And yeah, I mean, in the case of the HK91, yeah, you have to use a claw mount Picatinny, but it will actually fit. In the case of a PTR, if you get a welded rail, it's going to actually be straight, and this one here isn't. So let's start with that. Why did I get this gun? I got it because 9-Hole Reviews made a video about PTRs and whether or not they're just as good. And unfortunately, I saw that video and I bought into it. Because essentially, he featured a gunsmith that said that PTR sucks and he builds them better, blah, blah, blah. So I bought one from him. He's a super nice dude. But it's just not perfect. And you can say, oh, Alex, you're too German. Correct. Guilty, Your Honor. I am German. But so is this gun. And, certain things just have to be good. So here you can see, I don't know if it translates well on camera, but this rear sight, let me zoom in a little bit. The rear sight is canted to the right by about 1.5 degrees, as is the Picatinny rail. They're canted by pretty much the same margin. Front side post, I think, is pretty much perfectly straight. But fixing that, undoing those welds, straightening it out, re-welding is a huge ordeal. I don't want to have to deal with that. Also, if you look closely, you're going to really have to look closely for this one. But I believe the receiver might be slightly, ever so slightly, banana bent a tiny bit. I'm not sure on that. What I am sure of is that if you take the front handguard off, or if you take the buttstock off and look through the rear, the barrel sticks up and to the left at an angle. That's how it's welded in. So normally in a real G3, if you look down this line is where, this line here, this one where my finger rides, is going to be exactly where the barrel's going to be. And that's not the case here. It's pointed upward, which, I mean, that's probably the least of the issues, but just the fact that this is kind of canted to the right, the more you look at it, the more you channel your inner German, the more you look at this line here, the more it's gonna fucking bug you. And yeah, it's not perfect, it's unacceptable, it's not German enough. So what I'm gonna do is dump this puppy on Gunbroker. If I can only get it to focus. There you go. This here, see? It's just enough to be noticeable. But the same goes for the rail. If you have a tall optic or a blocky optic like a Neotech, it's super noticeable if you're shooting it in person. It's tough to capture these things on camera, but it definitely is crooked. Definitely is. So why does this not happen with PTR? Because at PTR, they have fixtures for these things, okay? They don't use bubble levels. They put it in a tool that physically will not allow you to do it wrong. And then they have a laser welder that welds it, which is more accurate than this, and which also causes less heating and, you know, warping of the receiver, if any. And that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna get a PTR 91 after I get rid of this puppy, and yeah, I'll probably lose about $1,000 on this transaction. So again, if you watched this video and you're saying, hey, Caps, you're a crazy kraut, just accept it. It's slightly crooked, who cares? Hey, just buy it from me. You'll get a great deal. Right now it's listed for, I think, $800 on Gunbroker. But what I've noticed is anytime you have any sort of dimensional issues whatsoever, there are problems that eventually will happen. Even if the barrel is angled up, you know, at the slight angle, even if it's just 2 or 3 degrees, well, that means the trunnion is going to be slightly crooked, probably. I don't know, but probably. Why else would the barrel point up slightly? And what does that mean? That means the bolt head is going to have more trouble locking properly. I mean, I shot it. It is safe to shoot. And with that heavy buffer in the back, it's actually very comfortable to shoot. But would I bet my life on a rifle that has these dimensional issues, even if they're slight? No, I don't want to. Like, I want something proper. I want something true and straight, and you're probably not going to get that in the budget category or in the, you know, garage gunsmith category. I mean, my garage looks like shit, and that's okay, because that's my garage, and I don't host guests here, except for you guys. You're probably watching this on the toilet, so it doesn't matter, right? But a lot of people build guns in places like this, and then this is the result that you get, where stuff is crooked, stuff is out of alignment. And that's when, you know, legendary gun models like the G3 get a bad rep, not because the model is bad or the design is bad, but because it's poorly executed, okay? The same goes for all sorts of reproductions, like all the semi-auto MG42s or even the post samples that some hillbilly welded back together in a place that looks just like this, okay? If they don't run properly, don't blame the MG42. MG42 is an amazing design. It's very dependent on things to be proper, though, to spec. And I mean to spec German style, not to spec hillbilly style, where, oh, it'll be all right, I'm gonna fire 15 rounds from it, it'll work just fine, so gonna last you 5 lifetimes. No. To German spec, everything has to be fucking perfect. That is the minimum bar. Effing perfect, okay? Because otherwise, in the 42, for instance, if you have any sort of like slop in the barrel where it's not pushing up against the recuperator because, you know, Billy Bob welded it a little bit too far apart, you know, where it was torch cut, you can have an out of battery from that because the bolt doesn't lock properly before the round ignites, okay? And then somebody essentially has a freaking frag grenade going off 2 inches from their face and is maimed or killed. And people say, well, you know, the MG42 is a shitty design, the BAR is better. No, it's a fantastic design. You have to build it properly. You have to build it to German spec, Hans level adherence to spec, not Billy Bob level adherence to spec. And that's why I just really lost my tolerance for any sort of imperfection like that. And shame on me for putting myself in that position. I'm not mad at the gunsmith. I really am not. I think he did the best he could have possibly done with the tools available to him. If I was doing that with bubble levels, I also would not have been able to do it any better than what he did. I'm also not a welder, so I couldn't have built this gun, period. But I also don't take money for gun builds. That's the other side of it. If you buy it from PTR, like I said, or maybe in the future, you know, with the ATF changing their rules on receiver imports and dual sport use and all that shit, you know, maybe you can make a case that as long as you import it with a 10-round mag and everything else looks like this, you can import it new from abroad. And there's companies in Germany, for instance, that make a beautiful semi-auto G3, 2 German Hans level spec, perfect, chef's kiss, mwah. Maybe in the future we can import that. In absence of that, I would go with the PTR. That's going to be what I'm going to do. I'm going to dump this sucker for probably $700. Get me a PTR. And I'll be honest, by the way, if I didn't mention it already, I will put in the note that I believe the rear sight and the rail are slightly canted. I don't know if I'll put the receiver on there because, I mean, at least right now it looks pretty straight. But anyways, it does run, like I said. It is safe to shoot, and it does, at least in my testing, function reliably. But does it function as reliably as an HK91, especially if you get some dirt in there and stuff? Probably not. Okay, so if you want a G3, buy the closest thing you can to a G3. That would be HK91, PTR91. Factory built. Not built like this, okay? Factory built. That is what you want. I have gotten burnt by stupid decisions like this multiple times, and I think I've finally learned from it. Praise God. If it's not an established manufacturer, stay away from it. Run for the hills. Save yourself the money. Save yourself the time. Even if it is a factory built gun, if it's not well established, stay away from it. I bought a UXR from PWS. Biggest piece of shit I've ever owned. I was so excited for it. It looked so cool. All ambi, modular, you know, space gun. Looked super cool. Piece of shit. Radley stock. It would double fire all the time. Basically, you know, 2-round auto bursts because of hammer follow or inertia of the firing pin. I don't know. But anyways, not what you want. You know, special triggers like that are fun if you mean for them to shoot like that. If you want to shoot 1 round and 2 come out, that is not my idea of fun. Not my idea of fun at all. Especially if you let new people shoot that have poor recoil control and stuff like that. Not good. So I got rid of that one as well. Total lemon. And there's so many other, you know, things I could tell you about. I dumped money on a ACR built by Templar Precision like 2 or 3 years ago. I think he has still not delivered a single one to any US customers as I'm filming this video. So stay away from these people. Stay away from them. Unless the gun is used by every YouTuber under the sun and they say, you know, I've really shot 5,000 rounds through it, it's great, holds together, shoots tight, it's reliable, doesn't wear bad, then you can go for it, right? But in the case of the UXR, why have you not seen any videos after all the SHOT Show hype a year or 2 ago? Well, it's because the gun freaking sucks, and you might as well just pick up a magazine and throw it at somebody if you want to do some damage, because the gun either doesn't shoot or it shoots 2 or 3 rounds when you don't want it to. So yeah, UXR, bad. Clone builds like this, bad. They should not exist. They should not exist. I mean, I love the Second Amendment. I love the fact that in America we can just build guns. I love the fact that any John Doe can open a business and, you know, be free and build guns. I'm not saying anything against that, but you have to understand the flip side of that is you know, in Germany, you're not allowed to build a gun unless you are a certified gunsmith. And in order to become a certified gunsmith, you have to go to school for 3 years and work in a factory at the same time. It's like 1 week school, 1 week factory, 1 week school, or, you know, or business, local gunsmithing business. I don't like that model either, because it's very, very prescriptive and arcane and medieval. It slows you down if you're good at what you do, because you have to go through the stupid regimented process. But the good thing about it is that every German gunsmith has a base level of ability. A base level of ability to make stuff straight and true. And you don't necessarily get that here, because anybody can be a gunsmith. You just have to fill out an application with the ATF, get your Type 7 FFL, and then you can manufacture firearms, okay? Whether you have any sort of ability or not, okay? And that's not good for you as a consumer. So, don't make my mistake. Don't shake your fist at the sky. Don't get mad at beautiful gun designs like the G3, because it is a beautiful gun design. Just the way it looks, I mean, it's just a beauty. Have you ever seen a woman this beautiful? I don't think so. I mean, you'd have to show me. I think it's super, super pretty. So don't be mad at the poor G3. Be mad at yourself, like I am mad at myself for being stupid enough to go for the cheap-ass hillbilly backdoor garage build. That's it. Third pen out. Have a nice day.